Welcome to session 11, and I'm really excited about this one because we've got some fab new moves to introduce today. So we're going to start off in lying. So just get yourself squared off, make sure it feels like your hips are level, your shoulders are level, shoulders are down away from the ears. Take one foot out off the mat, toes slightly out, about fingertips away, other ankle comes across. You're going to take the hands to the top knee and think of sending the hip down towards the floor and down towards the end of the mat while bringing the knee in and over towards the centre of the chest. You want to see if you can feel the stretch around the seat bone. If you can't, then play with the position of the grounded foot to change the angle of the top shin. So it's really going for a feeling of that knee coming sort of up, over and in, so lengthening down the outside of the seat bone kind of area. And also at the same time thinking of pushing that hip down into the mat and down towards the end of the mat too. So it's another way for us to get into the little muscles around the seat bone and the piriformis. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Let those muscles let go. And when you're ready, you can release that leg and set up on the other side. So the foot goes out just off the mat, toe slightly out, ankle comes across, hip goes down as the knee comes in, up and over towards the centre of the chest. And feel a stretch down through the outside of that buttock on that side, sort of around the outside of the seat bone. So if you aren't feeling it there, it's moving the bottom foot, the base foot, that will change the angle at which the legs sort of interact with each other. So just have a little play with how you've got your feet set up in order to make sure you're feeling that stretch in the right place. And really key to feeling it is pushing that hip down towards the mat, sort of thinking that hip down towards the mat and down towards the end of the mat too. And as always with this one, you'll probably feel you need it more on one side than the other. And then when you're ready, you can release. Right now let's release the front of the hip. So a familiar move, thigh into the hands, heel pushes away, and we're going to do a set of 3 hip releases. So pushing away with the heel to 10%, resisting with the hands so that everything stays still, and just giving it quite a light amount of effort. And release and move through and set up to go again. So pushing the heel away, but making sure that all of the effort here to push that heel away is coming from within the buttocks, so within the back of the body, so that the front of the body is letting go. And just holding it static there, and then moving through. And we'll do a third one. So push the heel away, switch on the buttock to create that push with the heel. Everything comes from the seat. And just holding steady with the hands, keeping it light, light, light. And release. Super, let's do the other side. So taking the thigh into the hands, heel ready to push away, and switch on the seat bones to push that heel away. So you're pushing the bottom of the leg away with the top of the leg, if that makes sense. Lovely, and move through, and set up to go again. So switch on those muscles in the buttock to push the heel away, push the thigh into the hands, while holding steady. Just another second, and then release. And the last one, so switching on in the buttock to push the heel away, and taking a nice deep breath here, and another one, and then release. Lovely, super. So we're going to get into more of the work for the torso now. So let's come over onto one side, doesn't matter which side you start. And you're going to come up on the arm, so up on the arm and shoulder, not lying on the ribs. The bottom hand is going to hold the bent knees down, as the top arm is going to reach up, angle towards the ear, and then open round as far as you can. So if you can't keep your knees totally down to the mat, of course, that's absolutely fine. What you want there is just a little bit of weight into them so that you're creating that twist in the bottom half of the torso. And if you can get that shoulder all the way down to the mat, then great. But otherwise, go as far as you can go, and then use the weight of the arm, let gravity take the weight of the arm to create that stretch through the front of the chest. And then just breathe. Nice big deep breaths here. Taking the air into the ribs and just allowing everything to lengthen and let the weight, let gravity allow the front of the body to open. And you can move the angle of the arm up further towards the shoulder if that helps you get into the little muscles down the front of the armpits and in behind the boob, so the pec minor that we always like to make sure is nice and released. And we'll just take another 10 seconds or so here. Just relax into the stretch. Super relaxing, this one. Lovely. And release, come back through centre and get yourself laid on your back. Get square before you then set up on the other side. So the knees held down, arm comes up and over. And just get yourself settled so that you're comfortable to stay in position for a little while here. A little bit of weight into those knees to keep that sort of twist through the bottom half of the torso, and reaching that arm out long and away to open up through the chest. So it's really hard for us to get our shoulder blades back down and together in the saddle where we want them for our contact if the shoulder is being pulled forward by these little muscles through the front of the shoulder. And so opening up, taking time to open them up, can make all the difference to the later work that we're going to go on to do through strengthening and activating the muscles through the back. A couple more deep breaths here. Nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And letting the ribs expand to increase the stretch, of course, as well. Super. And release. Lovely. So come back to lying on your back and get yourself straight and square. And then we're just going to take the legs long and the arms long overhead for a brilliant full body stretch. So really trying to reach as long as you can through the body. Feel the stretch through the front of the body. Have a little pedal through the feet to increase the stretch through the hips. And hold this for as long as you're feeling the benefits. These little pedals through the feet really help also to get a little bit of mobility in through the hips and the spine. Reaching the toes away. Lovely. And release. Lovely. So let's get into our side lying series to get into the muscles of the core and also of the seat as well. So line up along the back of the mat, and you can take the feet back in line with the bum for clam. So a bend in the knees, heels in line with the bum. Make sure your hips are stacked and your hand in front of you for stability. We're going to open the top hip and return. So keeping the hips totally upright, using the little muscles of the seat to create the movement, and only opening as far as you can keep those hips completely honest and completely stacked. Switching on all of the little muscles around the seat bone and opening the front of the hip at the same time. Keep the toes together, keep the heels together. Lovely. Activating all those little muscles. Brill, last one. and return. Super. Take the legs back out straight with the feet in the front corner of the mat. So now a progression on our knee to knee, heel to heel. I know, you love that one. So top leg bends and lifts. We're going to rotate to bring the knee down in front and then rotate to tap the heel down behind. So rotate, knee in front, rotate, heel behind. Just holding yourself stable with that front hand as much as you need to and focusing on keeping that feeling of freedom and rotation in the hip. So this is all about strengthening the muscles of the hip here. All of the movement needs to be happening there, not in the knee, not in the ankle. Last one. And the heel, lovely. And now some lovely donkey kicks. So make sure you've got a bit of space behind. Then bring the knee up to the chest, and then the heel's going to kick back and up with the heel away. Open the front of the hip, and bring the knee up into the chest, and then push the heel up and back away, wherever the angle for you is right, in terms of getting the openness through the front of the hip and really feeling the benefit of this one. You know when you've got it in the right place. Great way to open up the front of the hip, but also ease off some of those muscles that we've just been exercising with clam. Lovely. And push the heel away, really lengthening through the leg. Super. Now we're going to do some baby circles, but with the leg up. So the top toes are going to point, and just working within your own range of motion, the leg is going to lift. Keep the hip on top, so make sure the hip isn't falling back. And we're going to move into baby circles, pointing the toe here, toes reaching long, 8 each way, so really lengthening through the leg here. Length as well as strength. Control the circle and reverse it. So really focusing on keeping those circles round and around about the size of a dinner plate, side plate if you can get them that small. Super. And release back down, and let's move straight into bicycle. So coming forward, tucking the heel to the bum, reaching out behind, and arcing all the way through. So just going to do a couple, just to get a bit of movement into the hip and also through the sciatic nerve area. Super. And now we'll just reverse to take the toe to the bum. So reach that toe, reach, trying to get that foot as close to the buttock as you can. And then we'll reach back to increase the stretch. So here, not pulling on the knee, but just holding the foot as you push the hip forward. Lovely. And release. And now a brilliant one for our contact muscles in our arms and our core all in one. So knees bent, take the bottom arm and wrap it around the waist. I'm going to lie up on the arm here, stabilising hand grounded, top leg hip height, toes reach long, inhale to prepare, exhale to push up, keep the leg long and lifted, and return. So keep going. You're keeping the leg long, keeping the leg up to shorten through that side, the top side of the body, and using the tricep and shoulder in that lifting arm. Lovely. It's a tough one, but so effective, this one. Absolutely love this exercise. Keep that leg lifted. Last one. Keep the leg up. And control it back down. Brilliant. And you can sit up now and have a stretch out through that tricep. So yeah, these are brilliant for the side stabilizers as well as for the arm and shoulder. So really useful one for us, getting a couple of things done all in one movement. So let's now run that series over on the other side. Set yourself up side lying along the back of the mat. And we're going to take the feet back in line with the bum for clam. So make sure the heels are in line with the bum. Hand in front of you if you need for stability. And open the top leg and return. So try to keep the heels and the toes together here. Make sure you've got enough bend in the knee and that those feet are in line with the bum. And that the hips are staying completely still and all of the movement is coming from the hip. Controlling the movement on the way down as much as we control it on the way up. And originating that movement in the little muscles in the seat, so choosing what muscles you use here. Super. And just one more. And control back down. Lovely job. So take the legs out straight, feet in the front corner of the mat, and we're going to rotate to tap the knee and the heel. Over, tap the knee and the heel. So thinking of drawing a rainbow with the knee here, really working on getting the full range of rotation into that hip, and strengthening all of the little muscles that we need on our side to give us control over our legs in the saddle. And control over our hips and our weight aids as well, and really positioning where we put our seat bones and our hips when we're on board. Last one. Tap the heel, lovely, and then straighten to go into our donkey kick. So knee to the chest, heel pushes away. Heel comes into the chest, and heel pushes away. Knee, heel. Knee comes into the chest, and the heel reaches long. So lovely movement. Really make sure you're feeling that opening in the front of the hip, and that leg is feeling longer every time you take it out behind. One more. And push that heel up, back and away. Lovely. Legs out long now into our basic sideline position for baby circles. So toes reach long, and the leg is going to lift with your range of motion, and then move into the circles. So we're going to do 8 each way, and keeping those hips stacked, making sure the hip isn't rolling back. Everything is about control with these movements. Super. And reverse it. So focusing on the shape of the circle, and the control on the way down on that side of the circle as well as on the way up. Brilliant. And release. Now that should feel quite intense around the seat bone. If it's not feeling intense for you, then maybe try lifting the leg higher next time. So into bicycle, moving through a nice smooth movement, taking the leg as far forward as you can, tucking it through, pushing the knee back. Lovely job. And then we'll reverse half a bicycle just to take the toes and the heels towards the bum. Reach, try and get that heel as close to your bum as you can. And then you can reach back to increase the stretch. So just holding the foot, pushing the hip forward, allowing the front of the hip to release. And then you can release the legs. So now a brilliant one for all-in-one movement for triceps and side stabilizers. So knees slightly bent, bottom arm around the waist, lying up on the arm. And then when you're ready, top leg lifts long, reaches long, and you're going to inhale to prepare, exhale to push and lift, keep the leg lifted, and return. Keep that leg up all the way through the movement, moving with the breath. So exhale to push up, inhale to return, keeping the leg up, feeling the shortening through the waist. Really great for the core muscles and the stabilizing muscles here. And the last one, lovely, control back down. And you can sit up and stretch through that bicep. So really dropping the hand down the back, and then just adding a little bit of extra stretch with your hand on that elbow and letting that muscle release. Super. So let's get into some new progressions for our back strengthening work. So come through all fours, down through a little plank to lie on the front, and take the arms into a W with the hands sort of level with the jaw or the ears. Legs and toes reach long, so make sure everything reaches long. We're going to lift both ends. So inhale to prepare, and then exhale to lift everything up, including the arms. And then from here, the arms are going to come forward and return, and lower everything back down. Okay, so that's your movement. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, abs on to lift, arms come forward and return and lower back down. So just moving with the breath here. Exhale to lift, push the pubic bone down into the floor, reach the arms, bring them back and return. So just keep going with that movement, lifting both ends of the body at the same time, trying to get the fronts of the thighs up off the mat if you can, and return. And as you come up, feeling the shortening through the back of the body, holding firm as the arms increase the challenge, and return. So everything done with control, just one more now. Exhale to lift everything up, 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 up. Arms reach long, arms come back, and lower back down with control. Fabulous. Take the arms now back down by the sides. We're going to go for a normal dart, but with some added challenge from the legs. So arms long by the sides. We're going to inhale to prepare, and switch on the low abs. Exhale, everything comes up, hands and toes reach long. Now tap the heels. So keep the front thighs up off the mat, bounce the heels off each other, and lower back down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift and reach, and tap the heels. Keeping the legs and arms lifted, and return. And exhale to lift and reach, and tap with the heels. Keep them lifted, up, 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 as you tap, and lower back down. Brilliant, well done. And from there, you can take the hands forward and push yourself back into a lovely child's pose. Nice deep breaths here. Feel the expansion through the ribs. Feel the expansion through the spine. And just let all of those muscles loosen and lengthen and release off from our extension work. And then you can take the hands and reach around to one side to lengthen through one side of the body. Breathe into the ribs, expand the ribs on that side. Feel the lengthening, feel the expansion, and then walk the hands back through centre and over to the other side, and feel that expansion through the ribs down this side of the body. Big breaths to push those ribs apart, and come back to centre, and roll the body back up to seated. One vertebra at a time, neck and head comes up last. Lovely. So you can come forward now to seated, and take your feet wider than the mat. So you want to make sure you're up on your seat bones here. If it's difficult to get up on the seat bones, then you can pop at the edge of a cushion under the back of your bum there. So once you're upright, take the arms out, sit tall. We're going to rotate, sit tall again, and then we're going to reach forward to the shin, ankle or toes. Reach long through the top of the head, and then take the other hand down to the mat and use it just to assist the stretch there. Feel how that helps the stretch through, especially down the side of the spine and the side of the lower back. And just hold this stretch here for a good 10 to 15 seconds. Take some deep breaths. And reach long through the top of the head, long through the arm, through the fingertips, and then come back up. And to the other side, sit tall, grow tall before reaching forward to the shin, ankle or foot. Take the other hand back behind you and just assist that stretch. Gentle little push here to get as much length as you can down the side of the back. Lovely. Big deep breath here. Increasing our rotational mobility through the spine. And release. Absolutely love that stretch. It's so useful for us. So let's stretch off the little seat muscles and work a little more on that rotation. So one foot tucks under the bum, other foot comes across the thigh. Get it stable, but keep both seat bones down on the mat. We're going to hug that leg in and turn to look over the opposite shoulder. Keep both seat bones down. Just enjoy the rotation into the spine here, but also feeling the stretch into the seat muscles on that side. Hug that knee into the chest and take a couple of deep breaths here to allow those muscles to let go. So this rotation through the spine, really useful for us to be able to put our shoulders, turn our shoulders in the saddle without disrupting our seat. So a great stretch for us, this one. And come back through centre and swap the legs over. So the other foot goes under the bum and the other ankle comes across. And then hug that knee in towards you. Keep both seat bones down on the mat. So think of pushing that seat bone with the lifted knee down into the mat and look back over that other shoulder, rotating through the spine. And take some deep breaths here. Stay tall through the top of the head. Always important to be tall when you're rotating the spine, so we're rotating and lengthening, not allowing it to sort of concertina down. Super. And you can release. Oh, brilliant. So there's some real progressions in that session for our back strength work, but also for the seat and that brilliant side push-up. Absolutely love that one. So I will see you in the next session for some more.